Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be starting a reading vlog, and not just any reading vlog. We're going to be doing a 24-hour reading challenge. Seen one of these before. People either do it one of two ways. One way people do it is staying up for 24 hours and like just seeing how many books they can read within that 24 hours. And then the second way is to just set your timer up every time you read. So when you're not reading, you stop the timer, but when you're reading, you turn the timer on, and then by the time you get to 24 hours, the challenge is over. I will be doing it the second way because I very much value my sleep and my sanity. As for how long this is actually gonna take me, I genuinely do not know. For the sake of the video, like, I'm gonna try to read as often as I can over the next few days so I can finish the video. But if I were to like guess, it's probably gonna take me like a week maybe to finish this. I don't know. It also depends like on what I'm reading. If I'm really into a book, then I will definitely binge it. In this video, I'm just gonna stick to reading romance books because I'm a romance girly, so it just makes sense. If I were to read any other genre, I'm sure it would like take me 10 times longer to finish this challenge. So we're gonna stick with romance. Okay, if I'm for real like guessing like how many books I can read in this video, I would say maybe 3. I feel like that's realistic for me, or maybe like I'll finish 2 and then like I'll start a 3rd one. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm expecting from this challenge. Let's aim for 3 books. Hopefully we'll find a good book. Okay, as for the book I'm gonna start with, this is so random, but it's literally the only book I have right now, so I'm just gonna read it. But I'm gonna read Thrive by Krista and Becca Ritchie. This is a part of a series. This is the 6th book within the Addicted/Calloway Sisters series. If you were like on OG Book Talk, like you know this book. So basically the series follows 3 couples, and the main couple, Lily and Lo, this is one of their books. I think they have 5 books within the series. I think this would be the 4th one. But basically all the books just like happen in chronological order and they follow the 3 couples within this world. I'm gonna kind of explain like what the first book is about because like that's just like where you meet the characters. So the first book, we are introduced to Lily and Lo. They're best friends. They've known each other since they were kids, and they're in the spotlight because both of their parents are like millionaires, but they both happen to have addictions. And so in order to kind of hide each of their addictions, they fake date, and it just gets messy. As I said, they're famous, so they have to hide their addictions from the world, and on top of that they're hiding it from their families too. And obviously as the story goes on, they become more than best friends, more than a fake relationship. So that's their story, and it is continued in this book. As for the other 2 couples within the series, there's Rose and Connor, and then Reich and Daisy. The girls are the sisters of Lily, and then as for the guys, they're also like really good friends. So they have their little friend group / found family, which I absolutely love. I'm sure I'll talk more about that later, but throughout the series they get their own books too. So yeah, that's kind of what's happening. If I'm being honest, I may be a little lost because the book before this, I read it almost a year ago, so I'm sure when I start reading this, like, I'm gonna be a little confused on some of the little details. Hopefully it all comes back to me because I really don't want to be like looking up spoilers or like going back into the other books and trying to figure out what's happening. But I guess we'll see. I'm like excited but like nervous. Like, I don't want anything bad to happen. Okay, let's just get into this. I just read the prologue and I'm already nervous. Okay, so we're officially an hour in and I've only read 50 pages. I'm on chapter 6. So if this is like an indication of how my reading pace is gonna be, let's see, 50 pages in 1 hour, 24 hours. What's 50 times 24? I have no idea. Okay, so if I keep going at this pace, I can read about 1,200 pages. Obviously, that's like a rough estimate, but that would be 2.5 to 3 books, which is what I predicted. But anyways, as for the book, I'm liking it. I love being back in this world. I will say when I was reading, I was getting a little confused because I thought that this book took place immediately after the book before, Hot House Flower. That is not the case because like they were talking about certain things and I was like, wait, but didn't this happen like in the past book? And I was just kind of like confused because like the timeline just didn't match up in my head. This is definitely like taking place during the same time as the 4th book in the series, which is Kiss the Sky, which I'm pretty sure I read at like the beginning of 2024, so a little over a year ago. But yeah, I was reading and I was kind of like, what is going on? Like, I know I don't remember like every single detail, but I do remember like the bigger parts, and just some of the bigger parts clearly have not happened in this book yet, and I was just like, hold on. Can you see that I'm watching The Fairly Odd Parents like in my glasses? Because I'm pretty sure you can. But as for the story, I'm very much enjoying it. I literally can't say much because it's in the middle of a series, but just know things are good. I'm realizing how much I've missed these characters. Like, they really are comfort characters at this point. And again, this is like taking place during the 4th book, Kiss the Sky, and I'm assuming that it goes into the 5th book, Hothouse Flower, which is the book before this. But basically, like, being back in that timeline, if that makes any sense, that is very like comforting. Not comforting because everything's going to shit, if I'm being so honest, but like comforting in the way like, oh, I remember reading this timeline from the other couple's point of view, if that makes any sense. I feel like it low-key doesn't make any sense. I'm low-key confusing myself talking, but basically I'm feeling nostalgic because it's bringing me back to when I was reading the last 2 books, because they take place during like the same time. But assuming that we're following that exact same timeline is making me nervous because so much stuff happens within those 2 books, and it has me nervous, like really, really nervous, because then I just have to relive what happened in those 2 books, but from this point of view, which is crazy, but like, and I'm not gonna lie, I feel like this book might be a 5-star. I know I'm only like 50 pages in, but now that I'm like really like thinking about it and thinking about where this story is probably gonna go, I have a feeling that it could be a 5-star, which is great. We'll just have to see. I'm gonna read like a chapter or 2 and then go to sleep. Time for updates. It's officially day 3 of me doing this. I filmed a little bit yesterday, but I didn't even give any updates or talk to the camera, but I'm literally only 5 hours in, and let me just say, I think I like underestimated how long this would actually feel, because I feel like I've been reading forever, but I've only like read a total of 5 hours. So this is definitely gonna take me like a while, unless I really like lock in and just binge whatever I'm reading. But honestly, my attention span is low-key so bad. I think I can probably sit for like an hour at most, and then after that I just need to do something else, and that's definitely what I've been doing with this. I don't think I've like sat for more than an hour to read, so doing this is making me realize a lot about my reading habits. But as for the book, I'm on page 262, chapter 37, so I'm like halfway done. I'm honestly having such a great time. I don't even remember what the last thing I said about this book was. I do think I mentioned this, but this book takes place during the 4th book in the series, which is Kiss the Sky, which I literally have right here because I was like going back and like trying to match up the timeline, but it takes place during that, and that book follows Rose and Connor, but this one's following Lily and Lo. And I'm assuming like the end of this book will follow the timeline of the 5th book, which is Hothouse Flower. I'm still not really sure if that's what's gonna happen, but that's what makes the most sense, so I'm very excited to get there. But as for what I've read, it is so good. Again, I can't say much. It's quite literally the same plot as Kiss the Sky, but it's in Lily and Lo's point of view, so you get like a little more and a little less. I love being able to read Kiss the Sky, but like in a different point of view. It really does put the pieces together, because I remember when I was reading Kiss the Sky, I remember like you would see Lily and Lo in the background and they would be doing their own thing, but you just wouldn't completely know what's going on with them. And this is like quite literally what you're wondering when you're reading Kiss the Sky, so I absolutely love that. Also, I read Kiss the Sky probably a little over a year ago, so going into this I was just nervous that I was not gonna remember anything, but like as soon as I realized that it was basically the same plot as Kiss the Sky, stuff started to like come back to me, and it honestly felt like I never left. But yeah, I'm gonna keep reading this. It's actually midnight right now, so I'm probably only gonna read for like 30 minutes and then go to sleep, but we're getting somewhere, guys. Okay guys, it's the next day. Like, technically it's the same day because the last clip you saw I was like filming at like 2 in the morning, but I'm getting ready for what? I don't know. And as soon as I woke up, I finished reading Thrive because last night I did read the epilogue, but the book also has bonus chapters, and by the time I finished the epilogue it was past 2 o'clock and I was like, okay, I need to go to sleep. So I went to sleep and I was like, I'll just read the bonus chapters in the morning, which is what I did. So I completely finished the book and I think I'm gonna give it a 5-star. I really enjoyed the book and I loved every second of it. As I mentioned, it takes place during the previous 2 books in the series, and it wasn't the same exact story, but the sequence of events that was happening within this family and friend group, it was the same exact timeline, just a different perspective, which I absolutely love because I remember reading those previous books and I remember thinking, oh, what's going on with Lily and Lo? Because like they would do things and I would be like, oh, what's going on? Like I want to know what's going on, but like obviously the book that I was reading just wasn't in their point of view. So I'm glad we have this to see what was going on. But I love all of the characters. I love the found family. Like it's so good. Kristen and Becca Ritchie just do such a good job of like writing the storyline for these people, and it's actually crazy seeing how they were like able to intertwine these books because again, they're all happening like at the same time. As for the plot, I love the plot even though it kind of is the same, but like at the same time it's not. There are like plenty of like new scenes that aren't within the other books because again, those other books aren't in Lily and Lo's point of view. As for Lily and Lo, oh my gosh, I love them so much. Every time I read one of these books, I'm constantly trying to figure out who my favorite couple is. I may have to say Lily and Lo solely because I have more of an attachment to them. At this point, I've read 4 of their books and I've only read 1 book from each of the other couples. So as of right now, I think Lily and Lo are my favorite. I don't know. I feel like it changes like every 5 seconds, but I love them and I love how perfect they are for each other. They quite literally like have the same thoughts. And also like I want to talk about how the book is like heavier. Lily and Lo are both addicts, so you see them deal with that, and it's like just very interesting seeing their dynamic and how they work through it. And honestly, a lot of the times it's just like heartbreaking. I think I wrote this in the book. I said like every other chapter my heart is breaking, but then like the next chapter fixes it because they are like definitely perfect for each other, no doubt about that. But like the stuff that's going on in their lives just puts so much pressure on their relationship, and seeing that just makes me sad. They do like have like so many sweet moments too, so I just love that. And finishing this book just made me realize like how much I want to finish the series. I think there's only 4 more left, so I definitely want to try to finish the series before the year is over because it's just so good. If you haven't read the series, I highly recommend. I know it's like so long and like intimidating, but like it truly is worth it. But yeah, that's that. I'm at 9 hours and 56 minutes, so 10 hours. I've been doing this for so long. It's probably been like 4 or 5 days, maybe. Wait, when did I start this? I really don't know. I started this on Thursday? What's today? Oh my gosh, it's almost been a week. Today's Wednesday. Well, if it took me that long to read 10 hours, I'm probably gonna be reading for like another week. That's not good. I'm gonna try to designate one day to just binging because like I don't want to drag this video out for too long, but I guess we'll see. It's a bit later. I opened that package a few hours ago, but I've been doing a lot of editing, so I haven't gotten a chance to start a book yet. But as you guys saw, these are the books I got, and now it's time to pick what we're gonna read next, and I'm like so excited. I know for sure that I don't want to read Avatar right now. This has been on my TBR for the longest time because obviously everybody's read it already, and I know how much everybody loves it, but I haven't gotten there yet. But I told myself that this summer was the summer of me reading Avatar and really stepping into my fantasy era, so I got it. But I want to save this for like a whole nother video. I think I'm gonna do like a dedicated reading vlog for reading this. So today is not the day that we start this, but I will be reading it soon. And so that leaves us with Play Along and Twisted. I honestly don't know which one I want to read. At first I thought I wanted to read Twisted because it's a dark romance. If you don't know, this is the 4th book in the Never After series, which is a series of standalone dark romances which are inspired by fairy tale stories. And in these stories, the villain gets their happily ever after. So in my mind, I was like, okay, I probably would want to get into a dark romance because personally for me, I find it easier to binge dark romances. So I feel like reading this would probably make the challenge go by a little quicker. So that's kind of why I'm leaning towards this. But I have Play Along, which is the 4th book in the Windy City series, which is a series of sports romances. I didn't realize like how short it would be. It's like 360. I will say that words are kind of small though, but I thought this book was going to be longer. So in my mind, I was like, yeah, I probably don't want to start this book because it's probably going to be a longer read. but it's short. So I don't know, guys. I don't know. If we're doing the math here, I should be able to read about 2.5 books, because right now I'm at 10 hours, and if it takes me about 10 more hours to read another book, that still leaves like 4 hours. So I'm probably gonna end up reading both of these anyway. So yeah, I guess it doesn't really matter because I'm gonna end up reading them both anyway. But the question is, do I want to read a dark romance or do I want to read a sports romance? I'm leaning towards a dark romance, guys, because like I want something that I can speed through and then we can save, play along for when I finish this. So I think we're gonna pick this. I'm not gonna start it right now because I'm still editing a video that I want to upload tomorrow, but we will definitely start it tonight. I'm officially 12 hours in, so we're halfway. Yay. And I'm on chapter 11, page 100. As I suspected, I am eating this book up. I don't know what it is about Emily McIntyre's books. Every single one that I've read them so fast. Like, they're just so entertaining. I don't think I've explained what this book's about. I think I mentioned that Emily McIntyre bases her books off of fairy tales, but the villain is like the main character and they get their happily ever after. So this book is inspired by Aladdin. And so we have Yasmin and Julian. Yasmin is the daughter of this rich guy who like owns like a diamond empire, and he actually is sick and he's like about to pass away. But before he passes, he wants to marry off his daughter to someone who can care for her and also handle his business, because like it's like a billion-dollar corporation, empire, whatever, and he's old school, so he thinks a man should handle it all. And so her dad wants to marry her off to a guy that he chooses, but Yasmin already loves somebody else, and it's like someone who her dad would not approve of, so she can't actually marry him. So Yasmin's trying to figure out a way to make this all work and be with the guy she loves, but also respect her father's dying wish. But then enter Julian. Julian is her father's like right-hand man, and her dad is kind of like his role model and mentor. So now that the father's about to pass away, Julian thinks that he would be the best person to inherit the company, and so he comes up with a plan, and the only way that he can really get the company is if he becomes the one to marry Yasmin. So now Julian's basically just trying to figure out a way to marry Yasmin, and so far I'm liking it. It's been pretty interesting. I will say Julian, I'm on the fence about him solely because like he did something and I was just kind of like, well, he's done like a lot of things. He's very much dark, morally gray, you know? But he did this one thing and I was just kind of like, oh, why are you doing this? Like, leave. But other than that, he's hot, I guess. But Julian needs to do a little more for me to really love him. And then as for Yasmin, I like her. The dedication, it said for the people pleasers, sometimes it's okay to be a little selfish. That is definitely like referring to Yasmin. Like, she wants to follow her dad's dying wish to marry a guy she doesn't love. So I can't wait to see her like kind of break out of that. But overall, I'm having a good time. I definitely want to try to get halfway today, which I probably will. But yeah, those are my updates. I'll update you whenever I update you. I love the little Easter eggs of like Aladdin she puts into this, because stuff is happening and it's very Aladdin-esque and I'm loving it. I knew it. This person is crazy. What is going on? Okay guys, a long time no see, at least for me, because honestly it's been a few days since I filmed for this video. Let me recap the last few days. So you guys saw me finish reading Twisted, and right after I finished reading that, I had plans with my friend to hang out, so we hung out like all day. I spent the night at her house, so I didn't get back till the next day, and once I got back home I had to edit this other video that took me so long to edit, and I did not get any reading time in. And then eventually I started Play Along, which was probably like 2 days ago now, but I started Play Along and I was about to start filming, going, and then I found out my camera's broken. It wasn't like reading the memory card, and I was hoping that it was just the memory card problem, so I ended up getting a new memory card. I ordered it on Amazon and like paid for fast shipping so it could get here quick. Now I could have filmed on my phone, but the thing is I don't like filming on my phone solely because I always run out of storage. So I was like, I'll just wait until the SD card comes, and eventually it came, which was yesterday. I switched the memory cards and my camera still was not working, so I had to send in my camera so that I could look at it. I actually like just dropped it off an hour ago, and if I were to guess, I'm probably not gonna have my camera for like about 2 weeks, which isn't ideal, but we're still gonna keep going. I'm filming on my phone right now, so if the quality is like different for some reason, that's why. But yeah, I haven't recorded like any of the past few days of me reading because of that, but I did start Play Along a few days ago and I'm like 60 pages in. But before I get too deep into that, I want to give you my review on Twisted because I never ended up doing that. I really enjoyed it. I gave it a 4-star. I was bouncing back and forth between 4-star and 3.75, but I'm trying to be less picky, so I just gave it a 4. I love Emily McIntyre and her books. I always say the same thing, I feel like, but her books are just so fun because of the whole fairy tale dark romance part. That's just so entertaining. But Twisted is based off of Aladdin. It was just so fun seeing all the Aladdin Easter eggs in there, because if you've read her books, you know that she throws in all these Easter eggs, and it's so fun like when you're able to pick them out. The guy, Julian, is that his name? I'm still like iffy on, like he's not my favorite, but there were like 1 or 2 things that he did that I was just kind of like, what are we doing? But other than that, he was fine, I guess. The girl, Yasmin, I didn't have a problem with her. I will say there was one main problem throughout the whole story. It's literally the whole plot of the story, like of her trying to appease her father in his dying wishes, because like, again, I think I mentioned he's like on his deathbed. But I will say, like, she was such a people pleaser, and like that's kind of like the whole point of the story. Like in the end, she learns that she doesn't need to be a people pleaser, so that was annoying. But like at the same time, it's the point of the story. You're seeing her break out of her people pleasing ways, but there were times where I was like, girl, stand up, you can't be people pleasing right now. Overall, it was good. Now let's talk about Play Along. This is the 4th book in the Windy City series, but the whole series is just sports romances. This book is a baseball romance. We have Kennedy and Isaiah the baseball player, and then Kennedy is the team's physical trainer. And so like the main plot is that they get married in Vegas, and they're not supposed to like hang out outside of work. Kennedy could get fired for that, and she's very serious about her job, but they end up getting married in Vegas, and people end up finding out about this marriage, which puts Kennedy's job at risk. And so Isaiah's like, hey, let's just pretend to actually be married, because if we're actually married, they won't fire you, because like it's like a loophole, so they have to pretend that they're married. But yeah, that's a little synopsis. I'm on chapter 8, page 69, and I'm very much enjoying it. Today I'm gonna try to finish this challenge, because as of right now I'm like 18 hours in, I think. I don't know, I literally can't show you guys because again, I'm recording on my phone, but I'm like 18 hours in right now, so I have about 6 hours of reading left. So I'm gonna try to just binge it all today so I can go ahead and kind of wrap up this video, because I've been filming this forever. But yeah, that's the plan. Let's read. It's later. Also, let's ignore the fact that I'm missing 2 nails. Currently, we are 20 hours and 51 minutes in, so basically 21 hours. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish this challenge tonight because it's midnight right now. So in order for me to finish, I would have to read for 3 hours straight, which I don't think I can do at this hour because I will probably end up falling asleep. But I'm just going to try to read as much as I can. I can probably do like an hour, maybe a little more. And then the rest that I don't finish, I'm going to do it tomorrow morning. But it's actually kind of crazy that we're like so close to being done now. I feel like the first half of this challenge, like getting to 10 hours, felt super slow, but after that everything just sped by. As for the book, I am on chapter 16, page 153, and I am loving this book. Going into the book, I knew that I was probably gonna love it because I know everybody loves this book, but it's nice to read about and finally understand why people love the book. Literally, I'm obsessed with their relationship, and I love how they are with each other, and I love Isaiah. He is just so sweet. Like, I genuinely want him for myself. He's definitely one of my favorite book boyfriends I've read, but I'm at a point where they're still in this fake but real marriage, and they're faking, but lines are getting blurred. I'm very excited. I honestly haven't gotten much of my reactions on camera, but just know that I've been giggling and smiling through all of this, and I'm sure I will continue to giggle and smile through the rest of it. finally did it. We have hit 24 hours of reading. I felt like this moment would never come. Like, we've been doing this for a while now, but I did it. Sadly, I did not finish Play Along. I'm in the middle of chapter 28, page 282, so I can't give you my final thoughts. As of right now, I'm still loving it. I don't know if it's gonna be a 5-star. Like, as of right now, it's sitting at 4.5, maybe 4.75. I need to see how it ends, but I'm like really enjoying this book. I love all of the characters. I love Kennedy and Isaiah's relationship, and I love that it's like a baseball romance. I think this is like the second baseball romance I've ever read. The first one being Caught Up, the book before this, but I'm very much enjoying the baseballness of it all. Not that I really know anything about baseball. I did play t-ball for like 2 seasons when I was like 4, but other than that, I know nothing. But yeah, so far this book is just so good. I definitely recommend the series. Now let's recap on the whole 24-hour challenge part. Let me try to calculate the amount of pages that I've read. So first we read Thrive. I read 490 pages. I feel like I need to write this down because if I don't write it down, I'm gonna forget. Okay, so we have 490, and then for Twisted, 374, and then for Play Along, I got to page 282. Okay, I'm about to like do this little math equation because again, I'm filming on my phone, so can't use my calculator. So hopefully I do this right. I have not done math like this in a hot minute. Okay, according to my calculations, I have read 1,146 pages. That's kind of crazy. Imagine if I spent like all of my free time reading. Like, I would read so many books, but I think it took me like 11-ish hours to finish Thrive, and then probably like 6 or 7 to finish Twisted, and then like 6 or 7 hours to get to where I got here. But yeah, that's that. This is what we read. This is the end of the video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you've read any of these books, let me know what your thoughts were. But yeah, I hope the rest of your day is amazing, and hopefully I'll see you soon. Bye. Isaiah Rhodes, if you're out there in real life, come find me.